Hey, so we got a pretty cool clip here, and I don't really have a series that would complement such clips. I'm in Ashes of Ariandel, 135, on a Dex build. Dex Air, actually, the one and famed right-hand girl of Solaire. Got a pretty strong squad here. It's 4 man, got a mage, a fast weapon, the dagger, and an ultra. Plus we also got a thick goddess there in the back. He's looking awfully spicy if you ask me, with his cute whip. Right now they're putting the pressure on me pretty hard and already got me down to a quarter of health. Must right now is to get some distance and kind of split them up a little bit. More like a train, less like 4 men just beating on my ass. Even though I kind of enjoy that on the weekends, but we don't tell anyone about that. So right now I'm going to do this little jump. This is to create distance and possibly give me a backstab. But I whiffed the backstab and now I have to abort. I'm going to eventually go through that hole there. Hopefully not get plunge attacked. Nah, we're good. So right now my next plan is to use a shortcut that I use quite frequently. And it's really good, especially for invasions. Right now it's going to create some really good distance and lose some traction on their aggression. At the moment I'm just going to gauge and see how well experienced they are. I know they're experienced PvP players because of the medallions, but I don't know how experienced they are with the level. They could still be really good, just might not know this jump spot. This jump spot's amazing for harassing, but at the moment I have no throwing weapons, so I'm just thinking of what I can do in the meantime. So I have a plan. Now, at the moment I'm going to try and go for a plunge attack. So by this time, the main enemy of this area would have already came down, because they've triggered him by walking up past the houses. And one of them's taking damage, so my plan is to give them a good old plunging. Pretty good trade. We trade off one of the stronger enemies of the level for the mage. Now that just leaves the Avalon for the ranged, and the thick punching goddess for the upfront damage, and the supporting host. Right now I'm just giving them some harassing. I need to split up because they're all grouped together again, so I take the shortcut. Jump up here and give them a cheeky little gesture. At some point, this thick goddess becomes competent. Makes their way up here. This thick goddess is actually really good. Not because of the medallions, but because of the strats they employ with the Perseverance. I know how to deal with Perseverance. I don't know how to deal... They don't know about my playstyle, I should say. So they weren't expecting the backstabs. The Perseverance into heal is really underused and probably one of the best healing strats that I know of, because it reduces the damage and allows you to heal, and it's better to do it at around half health too, and could actually lead you into some damage if you pop Perseverance, heal, Perseverance again, and then just smash L1. So the host finally gets up here. I'm just doing some damage. Mages are kind of doing a bit of harassing. Not really necessary, but they actually do some pretty good damage, which is rare, because normally they just get shredded instantly. So the thick goddess follows me up. I get a cheeky pivot. Here we learn some good information, that they are pretty experienced with the level, just not the shortcut. Had the cat ring on. Host follows me down here on this little tightrope bridge area, which is pretty good for thinning out the herd, because most people like to roll, and if you can get them to roll off the edge, that's good for us. I would follow them down there, but I'm not going to, because if I follow them down there, that's going to be very hard for me to get back up, and there's not really that much room to get distance between them while I'm down there. So I'm going to keep them around here. I can't really deal with the quick stepper at the moment with this rapier, but luckily we get a spot of luck and get a pretty weird latency backstab, probably because he is Japanese. I get in here and get a chain on the Phantom, and that's 2 birds with 1 stone. Pretty damn good. Right now we follow in here where the host is. Now we're just going to bait out this R1 here, so then we can pop in for a backstab. Now I do a little jig here. That's my timing to throw the Undead Hunter Charm. I use it all the time if you pay attention to me in my streams, and it really does help with getting them on a wake up, because sometimes it doesn't work if you're too early or too late, and that little jig there gives me a good hand. Now we're in a pretty good position. We have lots of health. They're at about half. and oh, less than half actually. They're about 1 health right now. So now they're starting to panic. They've got no really outlet. I can pretty much kill them in 1 hit, and then I pull out my straight sword and get a roll catch. And that's all she wrote. So this is the same gankers. Right now, I was unable to get the whole fight, so it's just the host and the Thick Goddess due to time restrictions. So I'm just trying to put pressure and shorten their Estus supply on the host. Trying to deal with the Thick Goddess there. Trying to go in for attacks, but I take this shortcut again just to get some distance and give some cheeky gestures. And because there are other humans on the other end of that controller, other end of the screen, other end of the world, other end of the connection, you know, I'm happy that they got up there, and we're just enjoying it, enjoying the game for what it is, ganking or not ganking. We're just having fun. That's all it really is. Pretty good Duke here, 2 Wrath of the Gods, but I know they got no stamina, and I get a weird backstab due to the latency. I'm gonna say, and the exceptional grab range of the Croak Wheels or any rapier. So I'm just trying to put pressure. They pull out a straight sword, which is really good. They know I have to get 2 hits on them to kill them. They're turtling up pretty well and rolling out. So this is pretty smart. They went for an attack, which is extremely rare. And they're probably talking to their Thick Goddess friend on the mic. He comes in to give support. And good support he gives, because he stops me from killing the host. Gets 2 combos here. I knew they were going to go for a run and attack because they always do it. So I get the parry. Host comes in. I expect Wrath of the Gods. But no, they give me a Hunter Charm, which is definitely really smart as well. I failed a backstab, so I got a whiff there. And got a rebound on the Phantom. If the host actually did a regular R1, they would have got me with a counter hit and probably killed me in 2 hits. Which is crazy damage. Right now I'm getting down the chase down aggression, so I can make my moves. I get a running R1 into pivot backstab. I try to go for a parry on the Phantom, but my timing was off. It's very hard to get parries on a high latency. Again, I went for it because I knew he was going to attack, but again, it was off. I got a backstab there because on the side of his hip, it was a pretty, there's a pretty tight backstab, and it looks pretty funny when you do get him. They give me the chase down. I think I go for... No, yeah, they get a punish on my heel, which is pretty good. Better than taking a punch and then an R1, so the backstab is still a good trade. Right now I get a turn and burn. He gets the trade off, but I think I get the victory here. Yeah, so I guess he went for perseverance, but didn't probably pay attention to his health. I should have healed up twice there instead of just the once, because I knew he was going to have an Estus coming in. So now it's kind of this weird duel with the host. Normally what they all come down to. But this host actually puts up a damn good fight because they are experienced. They didn't expect the double R1 there, the buffer of the second R1 of the Murakumo, which is really damn good. Running attacks on the Murakumo are pretty strong and always a good opening. Now we're going into this weird territory of how is he going to deal with me and how am I going to deal with him. I know his backup weapon is a straight sword and a Black Knight shield, so very good defenses and stability, and that's what he switches out to. A really good setup right here. It's very hard to get in on him. I don't really have any chip weapons, so I'm just going to have to try and focus on trades or when he's going to attack or break his guard. Or bait attacks, but baiting attacks is really hard with latency. So right now I'm giving him the spam combo, which is pretty effective. It got me 1 R1. Pushing in there, trying to get the thing up. He switches up because he thinks I'm going to go for a guard break, which was my intention. But he switched the Cestus, so he's going to go for a parry. I didn't take all his stamina there, so I couldn't get the actual 4 hits. I got the 2. So this guy has high stamina as well, as you can tell, because he's using an Ultra. So he's probably around level 150 with jacked in stamina, faith, and health. Oh, and strength for Morn's Great Hammer. So at the moment I'm just applying pressure. He actually went for an attack there, so that was ballsy on his part. So definitely a really good player. So in this invasion, we invade Solaire from the previous critical by its 10, but we catch him at another area. So he eventually made his way through. We're going up against possibly 3 Faith builds. I know 2 are Faith. Maybe that other one there is Chaos because he used Dark Weapon, but probably just Faith. The host there is a Chaos Flinging Solaire, probably a descendant of the timeline that Solaire went to Irithyll. So that's probably canon. Everyone, you can put your Vardy books away and we can just all agree on that. So I'm going up here, my strat of taking that shortcut and getting plunge attacks works really well, especially if you can streamline it. By the way, they've got a seed activated. It doesn't help them that much, but that's a good combo right there. That was an R1 into Soul Spear from the Phantom, so the hit stun was really good, and they're putting on so much pressure right now, it's hard to catch a break, and that Saint's Binder does a lot of damage for the range it has. It is crazy, and I'm glad they buffed it. Right now I'm trying to get attacks in, try to finish off that Phantom, but I have no Estus, which is a really big worrying thing for me right now. So luckily I finished one off. That leaves 2 with 1 Estus. That's half an Estus each for both of them, so I have to play really well here, or they have to fuck up. Now, right now, I plan to go for a jump attack again. Will I get it? Yeah, I'll get it, because they didn't expect it and probably didn't pay attention to how I got the first jump attack. GG guys, and have a wonderful day.